guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. It's the first Monday Night Raw of 2026. It was a big Stranger Things tie-in show, and I thought it was a pretty good show. We had 2 title changes, a good main event, and to be honest, no real big angles outside of they did an injury angle for Stephanie Vicaire, who seems to have an ankle injury. Other than that, though, I didn't see any other big angles. Now, Luke, we got with us here. How you doing?
Grad life. It's kind of boring right now. I'm not gonna lie. Man, adulting sucks. Not gonna lie.
Right.
It really does.
So
I gotta get used to it.
So I said they didn't do any big angles on the show, and I want to know, because they kind of did, but it was, I think, during a commercial. Did you see the Javon Evans segment?
No, I did not.
Okay, so that was, I think, a mess up on their part. They go to commercial, and then all of a sudden Adam Pearce comes out and he goes, "Hey, Brooklyn, how are you guys doing?" And he's got a contract in his hand. You can see he's got a clipboard and he's got a contract in it. And he's like, "Well, I got an announcement here. Or I hope I got an announcement," or something like that is what he says. I'll run. I may not have took notes on it. Anyways, he's like, "You've seen this guy here for a little while now here on Monday Night Raw, and I hope he would like to stay here on Monday Night Raw." And he brings out Javon Evans, and Javon Evans is all giddy and happy. And he's like, "Hey, I got this contract for you. I would love you to be a member of the Raw roster. What do you say? Will you sign?" And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, is this really during the break? And it says at the top right corner, back in, and it's doing the countdown, because when they're on a commercial, they give us a countdown in the top right corner to tell us how long till we're back from commercial. And I'm like, why the hell are they doing this signing Javon Evans to Raw segment during a break? So I wanted to know from you if they actually showed it on the US feed or if it was really during just a break. So yeah, crazy. Like, they doing him dirty. Him dirty.
Yeah, Javon. Dude, like that they are kind of doing him dirty. They were doing him a little dirty in NXT, not gonna lie.
Yeah, making him 10 or 0-10 in title matches. He had 10 title opportunities in NXT and lost them all. Like, what are they doing with this guy? He's freaking amazing. And they're just whatever. Their thing is, he's young. We got time to develop him. What? He might be young, but he's been doing this for a very long time.
Right, but I think maybe from WWE's standpoint, they're probably just like, we don't want to rush him. But maybe that's what they're doing with Roxanne Perez. Like, they don't want to rush her.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, he's white hot. You see when he comes out in front of the live crowds, no matter where they are, they pop big for him. And the more you just use him as a guy and do nothing special with him, the less the fans are going to care is the thing.
I just hope they don't use him as just a guy that can put on a good match, but have him lose a lot.
Elite.
Because I mean, maybe I just don't want people to WWE just to view him as oh, he's like another Ricochet almost, a guy that can put on a good match, but they don't really view him anything more than that.
Yeah, I hope not. And Elite here in the chat says you can't skip commercials. However, you can fast forward once you pause it. Well, depends if you're watching live or watching later. That's what that depends on. But when you're watching live with the international Netflix, then you get content during the break. Like, we get to see when they were setting up for the main event, all of a sudden it cuts to a break and you hear Alicia Taylor, "All right, Brooklyn, it's time for the sign of the night. Who's got the best sign?" So we always see the sign of the night segment during the break. And then we get random interviews. Like, there was one with Logan Paul and Austin Theory during a break as well. So yeah, they still give us content. And then when you try to go back, that's the one bad thing that I don't like, is even on the international Netflix, once the show's over, they immediately remove all the commercial content. So say you wanted to go back and rewatch that Javon segment, you literally can't on any version of Netflix, any feed of it. It's just gone. So But with all of that long pause there, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for 4 games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. That we know we post new videos when we go live and when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, if you want to support the channel in another way, you can do so by becoming a channel member. As a channel member and hitting that join button, you get a badge next to your name, emotes and emojis you can use in the live chat, and access to our graphics packages, and potentially a little bit more that I might be coming up with. I got some ideas and some things that I might want to try out that I think would be cool, maybe for channel members. We'll see. We'll see. Also, I did put out a video last night. It was late last night, but I put out a video last night basically running down all the current rumors about Chris Jericho and if, quote unquote, he could have been on Raw tonight. And I want some feedback from you guys. Did you like that video? I did get some comments going, hey, I like this video. This is a good video. It's more of it was only 5 minutes long, but it's more long form. Kind of like, hey, we've had all these news beats about Jericho and all these different rumors. And so I just brought them to you in one video, kind of like encapsulating everything. And I just want to know what you guys think of that, because I really like doing those kind of videos. The more produced videos, I actually used AI and Photoshop and stuff to create images to make it look like Jericho was at SmackDown and Jericho was at Raw and Jericho was at Saturday Night's Main Event and stuff. And I really like doing that kind of stuff. And I want to know if you guys want more of that. We're like, if we've had a rumor, it's been kind of just going around for a little while, like the Jericho rumor that's been around for like 3 or 4 months, and it seems like it could be coming to a head soon, then maybe I do like a longer form video kind of just recapping all the rumors we've had so far. And I just want to know what you guys think of that, and if you guys like that idea for that style of video. Because if so, then I might do more of those, kind of like, hey, here's maybe I do a series called The Rumor Rundown, and I do a video where it's like, hey, this has had a lot of different rumors. Here's what they all are. Here's what I think is possible based off of all the different rumors. And then I ask for your guys' opinion, so forth and whatnot. And so, yeah, just a thing that I thought of yesterday. I was like, you know what? Let's do a long form video on all this Jericho stuff. Adam Pearce was teasing Jericho could be there tonight, asking who's going to break down the walls. So I was like, the timing works out. So let me know. I see a couple of you in the live chat saying keep making them. That video was the video was awesome. I liked it. Cool. So I might start doing more of those longer form videos where it's just like, here's something going on. Here's where I think it can go. And it's more of like a news recap / my opinions and prediction, I guess you would say. Remember, if you also want to get your comment and question read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. As far as Raw does go. Now, here's the thing I got to say, in case everybody wasn't paying attention. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to pull up the WWE schedule, because I want to just let you guys know that WWE going to be international for a little while as far as running in a bunch of different markets, like overseas. So Raws and SmackDowns for a little bit are going to be not, quote unquote, live at their normal time always. So let's pull this up. And when we look at SmackDown this Friday, they're going to be in Berlin, Germany. You know, it's going to air on the USA Network at the normal time. But if you have international Netflix, you can watch the show early. I believe like 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern, I think is what the time is. And then next week's Raw is also in Germany. And they did state that that will be airing live for everybody on Netflix, not just international Netflix, but everybody on Netflix next week, 11 Eastern. And then we've got SmackDown from London. I believe that's going to be like a 2 3 o'clock Eastern show. Then we've got a Raw from Belfast, Ireland. We're missing a SmackDown here, actually, looking on the roster, on the list. Oh, never mind, it's right here. Then we come back to North America for SmackDown and Saturday night's main event in Montreal. We go to Toronto for the last Raw before the Rumble, and then we've got the Saudi shows. We got the SmackDown Saudi and the Rumble Saudi. So just a heads up, the next 2 or 3 Raws and the next 2 or 3 SmackDowns. So it's the next 2 Raws and the next 2 SmackDowns and then a 3rd SmackDown are all going to be airing very early for everybody. Or not airing very early for everybody, but potentially airing early. Because if you have international Netflix and know how to get to that and whatnot and so forth, yeah. I'm going to put out a new video later this week about VPNs and how to get the international Netflix before, probably do that video Thursday, so you guys are ready for it for Friday if you want to SmackDown early. But as far as tonight's show does go, so Luke, what did you think of all this Stranger Things tie-in? And are you a fan of Stranger Things? I know you asked me before we went live if I watched it all. Are you a fan of Stranger Things?
I am a fan of Stranger Things, actually.
So what'd you think of all this?
Setup was all right. I mean, oh, WWE, they don't really do many themed episodes of like Raw or SmackDown. When was the last time they did something like this?
No, I know this was a like ask by Netflix. This was something Netflix wanted, not like WWE going to them, as far as what I heard and read. I don't know if that's 100% true, but the last time they did a show like this, I can't think of it. I mean, I remember in COVID, they had that Miz Damian Priest match where it was the zombie lumberjack match to hype up that Batista Army of the Dead movie. That was like the last big themed thing. But I can't think of like the last WWE. I can't think of WWE doing a show like this where the whole show was themed, other than like a holiday, you know, like a Christmas or a Thanksgiving thing. Yeah, I can't think of one, to be completely honest. But it was really cool. They had go for it.
I'm also surprised they didn't do like a Stranger Things theme style match.
I think last time they did a gimmick match like that, which was the lumberjack zombie match, it did not get over well and work well. So I'm just surprised nobody from the show was there. Like not even 1 or 2 cast members. Like it's a Stranger Things. Maybe it's like Stranger Things is over. They're done. They want nothing to do with the show. But yeah, I was really surprised. Like nobody, not a single person from the show was featured or shown on the show. So that was a little weird. Anyways, the show opens up and we see a cool stage setup with Stranger Things props and gimmicks. There's a van out there. There's the Surfer Boy pizza van or truck or whatever it is. A bunch of vines from the Upside Down. And then Michael Cole and Corey Graves step out of the van. And you could tell from the jump, Corey Graves is loving this and having a blast. He makes fun of Michael Cole. He's like, hey, we're supposed to be dressing like we're from the 80s, but where'd your denim go, Cole? And he's making fun of him and all that kind of stuff. They run down the card for tonight. They say New York is in the Upside Down. And then we see Braun Breaker. Well, we see the Vision first. Then we see Braun Breaker by himself in the back. We see CM Punk. We see Liv Morgan with the Judgment Day. Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, and Bayley. Lyra and Bayley were shown on like a float that said like Hawkins Library or something like that on it. Cool. It was all cool. And they said that the show was completely sold out at 14,728. The show did kick off with the women's tag team title match, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And I'm going to be honest, going into this match, because of what happened on SmackDown, I was like, oh, I think we're getting the Kabuki Warriors retaining. But I was completely wrong. I thought with Io getting the pin in the 8-woman tag on SmackDown, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to give Io the win here because she's losing on Monday. I thought they were doing that 50-50 booking, but I was completely wrong. And we got new tag team champions. The match itself started maybe like 10, 15 minutes, not 15, but maybe 10 or 11 minutes into the show. Like it took a while. And it wasn't even like we had some talking segment or some sort of like an angle to open the show. It was literally Corey Graves and Michael Cole saying, we're in the upside down and it's Stranger Things. And I'm like, what the crap? Anyways. Ripley took control early on by hitting a cannonball off the apron ahead of the break. When we returned from a break, Satan pulled Asuka to safety on another attempt, and they drove Ripley into the barricade to take over. Ripley fought back and tagged in Sky, whose offense included a sling blade. This prompted Graves to talk about how she learned that move from Hiroshi Tanahashi, who had his retirement match this weekend. I was not expecting to hear that.
What did you think of that Tanahashi match? I didn't see it, but what'd you think?
The match was fantastic, but the other thing was the goddamn post-match retirement ceremony went an hour and 10 minutes or something like that.
Went how long?
The match itself was like 30-something minutes, but then they did an hour retirement ceremony with just people coming out to see Tanahashi in the ring. Like he's in the ring and Jay White comes out. Then I might be getting some of this out of order. Will Ospreay then comes out. Then Kenny Omega's music hits. He walks out on the stage and all of a sudden he's there with Kota Ibushi, who this man tried to walk down to the ring. His leg is still jacked up. He barely made it down there. So Ibushi and Omega are down there. Then all of a sudden, we hear the music of Katsuyori Shibata. And Tanahashi loses it and starts crying. I think it was, who was it? Maybe it was Chris Charlton. He's like, because I think Walker Stewart was like, oh, this one got him. This one's got Tanahashi crying. And Chris Charlton's like, but Tanahashi cries all the time. And so, like, he was not, like, you can tell he did not expect Shibata to be there because Shibata did not leave New Japan on great terms. And then,
Really?
yeah, because, well, he had that match. I forget who it was with. It may have been Ren Narita. I could be wrong. He had a match at the Tokyo Dome where they were like, don't have a real match. You can grapple, but keep it safe and don't do anything. Because they never fully cleared him from when he almost died. And he went into the match and told, I think it was Ren Narita, I could be wrong, told his opponent, hey, I'm just going to call this in the ring. We're going to have a real match even though they said not to. And it pissed off the company. But, so they come down and then Keiji Muto gets in the ring. Fujinami gets in the ring, who was like Tanahashi's idol growing up. And so they all take a picture together. And then old man Fujinami's like, selfie? Take a selfie? So he takes a selfie with them. And then you think, okay, it's over. And he's, pandering to the crowd and everything. And then Naito comes out. They main evented Naito here, who's not even with New Japan anymore, and let him have a full-ass entrance. Like, he took his time. And him and Bushi came down there. And he, like, teased, maybe I have one more match here in New Japan with you. I see you in the ring again. No, that's not going to happen. I'm never coming back here. Like, damn. They literally let him say that in the ring. But did you hear the Nakamura stuff with Takeshita?
I saw like Nakamura was like his photographer, or no, Takeshita was his photographer.
No, so we don't know 100% for sure, but according to Takeshita, Nakamura was not allowed to be there for Tanahashi's retirement. One would assume that means WWE told him he couldn't go. And Takeshita wore the Nakamura red armband, like where he wraps it around and then ties it in the bow or whatever. He wore that on his arm because, in his words, Nakamura wanted to be somewhat part of the show and entrusted Takeshita to wear that so he can, quote unquote, be part of the show to honor Tanahashi. Like, crazy. Well, I don't know if it was WWE said he couldn't be there, or if maybe Tony Khan didn't want him there with all the AEW stars that showed up afterwards. Because when you think about it, it was Will Ospreay, Jay White, Ibushi, Omega, Shibata. There's the 5 of them right there, all AEW stars that were in the ring with Tanahashi. So it's like, I really think they should have let Nakamura be there. And I think it was WWE telling him he couldn't be there because WWE literally made Nakamura fly to SmackDown for a 30-second segment with Tama Tonga. Like,
That was
really?
why.
No, but I think that was that's their way of saying, oh, we need you for SmackDown, so don't go to Japan this weekend. That's how it came off. And they literally used him in 30 seconds. Tama Tonga was looking at a TV screen because he keeps teasing he wants the U.S. title. So he was watching the U.S. title match. And then Nakamura walks up and says something in Japanese. Tama Tonga responds in Japanese. And then he walks off. Nakamura walks off. And I'm just like, wow. You made him fly to SmackDown for that. There better be a payoff soon. And I don't think there is. Because literally, Solo was like, Tama, we good with that guy? That guy in trouble? He's like, no, it's all good. We're fine. And I don't even know what he said in Japanese. So, yeah, very interesting stuff. So, like, there was a Nakamura presence with his armband. He entrusted Takeshita to wear the armband so he could be part of, in spirit, Tanahashi's last show, which Tanahashi, you could tell he can't move, but Okada got a great match out of him. And also, Takeshita and Yoda had a freaking, I don't think that match could have been better. Like, that was a 5-star match, if not better. So, don't get me started about the post-match of Takeshita and Yoda because that's a whole other what the fuck did you do. Anyways, back to this women's tag title match. And why do I not see the Twitch chat all of a sudden? Give me 2 seconds. I lost the Twitch chat for some reason.
Are you still live on Twitch?
Yeah, I am, but something happened and it like closed itself. I gotta pull it back up. We lost the Twitch chat. So if anyone's Twitch chatting, we apologize if we haven't seen your chats. Okay, now I see the Twitch chat. We're good. Anyways, back to this match. Ripley at one point tagged in Io Sky, whose offense included, like I said, a sling blade. Corey Graves mentioned the retirement of Hiroshi Tanahashi. The heels got the advantage on Sky, and Sane hit a flying foot stomp to Sky's back while she was draped over the top rope, leading to another break barely 8 minutes into the match. Ripley got the hot tag and hit Sane with the Razor's Edge, and Sky tagged back in. Sky followed with a flying drop kick for a near fall, and the crowd wanted a title change. Ripley then gave Sane a riptide. It was kind of I don't know. It didn't look like she got the full riptide. Like, she didn't pull her all the way up or anything. It was kind of just like a lift her and put her back down kind of riptide. It was weird. And then Sky set up for a moonsault, but Asuka shoved Rhea into Sky, knocking her off the top rope. She then follows up the code breaker on Ripley. Asuka then tagged in and gave Rhea a German suplex. Did you hear what Rhea yelled when she took this German suplex?
What'd she yell?
Rhea takes this German suplex from Asuka, and just you can hear her audibly yell, "Oh shit!" I'm like, what happened? So Asuka and Sane then double teamed Ripley until Sky made the save and dumped Sane from the ring. Sky then tagged back in and hit Asuka with a running meteora into the ropes. Ripley then tagged in and hit Asuka with a riptide. Sky followed this up with a moonsault. Sky then wiped out Sane with a dive, and Ripley pinned her 1-2-3 to pick up the victory. New Women's Tag Team Champions in what they call Ryo, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Match went 16 and a half minutes. I thought it was a pretty good match. What'd you think?
It's a pretty good match. I mean, it's a pretty good opener, yeah.
Oh yeah, really good opener.
I think we all knew Io and Rio were gonna win.
Not technically. I thought there was a chance they didn't because Io got the big win on SmackDown in the 8-woman tag team match. So I was like, ooh, maybe they're losing, and they gave Io just the win on SmackDown to 50-50 it, but I was wrong.
Nah, I thought they would have won. I mean,
Elise says, how can you watch it? If you talk about the Tanahashi retirement stuff in the Tokyo Dome show, New Japan World, NJPW World. It's like $10 a month. You can watch. So for your $10, you would be getting, if you signed up now, I mean, you get all the past stuff. But for this month, I don't think there's any more live shows. But I know Tokyo Dome was hit and miss. The first half of the Tokyo Dome sucked. The second half and the last. So and I know we're getting off topic here. Half the Tokyo Dome show sucked, and the other half was pretty good. The main event was really good with Tanahashi and Okada. The Yoda-Tsuji Takeshita match was near perfect. Like, I would give it 5 stars. And then Evil and Aaron Wolf. I don't even know where to start with that match because that match was just wild.
I'm not a big Evil fan. I don't really like Evil.
A lot of people don't like Evil. Tony Khan is not a fan of Evil.
Really?
Yes, because Evil's contract is coming up and he's not going to re-sign with New Japan. And so people are like, ooh, could he go to AEW? Tony Khan has stated in the past he's not a fan of Evil's work. So,
well, yeah, every Evil match is like the same.
Yeah.
Apparently, Sonata even said that he's leaving New Japan as well.
I saw that.
Yeah, he said that he's leaving New Japan and like he's just going on a journey.
Probably going to go follow Naito and freaking Bushi to Noah. They just won the Noah tag titles recently. But, and then, thank you on Twitch. We got a hype train going. Thank you for that one. We'll read these bit donations here in a moment.
David Finlay also explored U.S. options as well. There's a lot of New Japan talent leaving.
Well, we know his dad is an NXT trainer. His brother is on NXT television. So could he be coming to WWE? I mean, people have been thinking forever, why is David Finlay not in WWE? He's got so many connections to WWE. But, yeah, no. And then, so the Aaron Wolf and Evil match, I don't even know how to explain it. It was bad, but it was like so bad that you kind of got to see it. And then the Siri, was it Saya Kamatani? I'm going to butcher her name. Saya Kamatani match. They only got like 8 minutes or 10 minutes. And they tried to just throw 20 minutes worth of stuff into this match. It was like one of them hyperspeed matches that they do in Stardom. So like they tried, but they didn't get enough time to really do much. And then the Rambo sucked. There was an 8-man tag. Andrade came back to New Japan. He's now the leader and money benefactor of the United Empire. And then there was some pre-show stuff that the El Phantasmo match on the pre-show wasn't bad. So yeah, like if you've got time to spare, it was a 3-hour show. I want to say maybe longer. I can't remember. If you don't count the hour they gave Tanahashi after, they even put this man on like a float and paraded him around the building. It was wild. But again, I want to say thank you for getting us to a hype train here on Twitch. Some of the bit donations here. We got from Muscle Man. He says, do you think any AAA or TNA stars could be in the Rumble? Also, which brand does Obafemi join? Okay, so let's break this down, Luke. Do you think any AAA or TNA stars are in the Rumble?
I can definitely see Mr. Iguana being in the men's Rumble.
Yes, I was going to say Mr. Iguana and Vikingo. One of, if not both, will be in the Rumble. TNA stars?
Definitely Mr. Iguana, because Mr. Iguana is like most popular with the U.S. fans.
Well, that and WWE really likes him. So
true.
Oh, I can see any of those. Any TNA stars? I can see Leon Slater, maybe.
I can see Leon Slater. As far as any others, I mean, I would love to see like a Mike Santana.
That would be cool, but I just don't see it.
Probably just Leon Slater. I don't really see any others. Same for the women. I don't really see any of the women from TNA being in the Rumble either.
Now, here's the question with Leon Slater. Do we think he becomes NXT champion tomorrow? Because he's challenging Obafemi, and they keep teasing Obafemi's coming to the main roster.
Nope.
You don't think he wins? You think Obafemi retains?
Oba retains.
Like, I don't see them putting the title on a TNA guy, like the main NXT title. But at the same time, I can see WWE wanting Leon Slater and being like, hey, we'll put this title on you if you sign with us when your contract's up. I don't know how much time he's got. But it's just interesting that they put the title back on Oba and they're wanting to call him up. So I don't know what's going on there.
They're probably just going to take their time with it, unless they call him up while he's the champion.
Maybe. And then that is the other question.
They've done that with Kevin Owens before.
Yep.
They call him up while Kevin Owens is NXT champion.
Yep. And that's the other half of this question. What brand do we think Obafemi goes to? Now, to be to give a little context here, Javon went to Raw, Trick Williams to SmackDown. SmackDown also got Joe Hendry. So I think Oba to Raw. What do you think?
I can see Oba to Raw. I think you'd have better matches on SmackDown though. Like, just imagine Oba Femi versus Drew McIntyre,
Right.
or like what else? I mean, Oba Femi versus Carmella Hayes would be kind of cool. Ooh, I would also love to see, which I kind of want him to go to Raw actually. Give me Oba Femi versus Rusev.
Oh, that'd be a good one. I'd say Sheamus, but Sheamus just had shoulder surgery. Did you see what his wife posted about his surgery?
What?
She's like, I wanted to take a trip with my husband and he promised me a trip, but I didn't think this trip was going to be to Birmingham, Alabama for him to have surgery. It was
Nice.
like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. And then
How long does that shoulder surgery normally like last? Like,
it depends.
what's the recovery?
Well, see, that's the thing. It depends. Because like when Finn Balor had his shoulder injury in 2016, they were like,
Was it 6 months?
Well, they were like, well, no. They were like, oh, we're going to go there. Your shoulder doesn't look too bad. And you maybe be out for 4 or 5 months. But wasn't Finn gone for like almost a year because it was worse than they thought?
Finn? Like almost a year?
I remember. Oh, how long was Finn Balor out after that SummerSlam?
Well, he came back the night after Mania.
So that was August, September, October, November, January, February, March, April. So that was about 7 months when initially they were like 4 months, I think. So it just depends on the shoulder. And I don't even know when he was injured. The last match I remember Sheamus having was a 6-man tag where he teamed with John Cena and Rey Mysterio on a Raw. But I didn't see anything in that match where he got hurt. So I don't even know where he would have been injured. But when we're speaking, and this wasn't part of the question, but when we're speaking of call-ups, I think Jordan Grace goes to SmackDown, Blake Monroe on Raw. Because Fightful reported today that Blake Monroe is being discussed for a main roster call-up, which could be imminent. Like her plans, plans they had for her in NXT could be changing this week. I think she loses to Thea Hale tomorrow.
I don't want her to come up to the main roster this early, though, because I don't really know what they would necessarily do with her on the main roster this early.
Here's the thing. She's so good. And if they let her actually be good, unlike they have in NXT, where they've kind of just done not much with her, even though she won the North American title, if they let her, like, they're never going to let her be Mariah May and doing the Tony Storm
obviously.
stuff. Doing the sexualized to Tony Storm stuff. But if they let her be even half of that, she's going to get over huge on the main roster. I just think she's somebody, same with Ricky Saints, somebody that doesn't need to be in NXT. And another one, Ethan frickin' Page. Ethan Page is so goddamn good.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been questioning Shawn Michaels' booking lately in NXT. Like, haven't you?
A lot of people have. I have too.
Like, they haven't really been using Blake Monroe that well. I mean, Javon Evans just keeps losing big title matches.
Yep.
Where he should have, I think he should have beaten Obafemi when, what was that show? That was like before.
It was like right after the deadline.
No, it was not that one, but like there was one before where like.
Oh, the pay-per-view?
There was a pay-per-view where Oba retained against Javon, and then Ricky Saints came out and challenged Oba.
Yeah, the Ricky match was No Mercy. So whatever the PLE was before No Mercy. Remember, Ricky won the title at No Mercy.
I can't remember what that show was called, though.
I can't remember now. Was it? Oh, I think I can picture the freaking graphics. But
was it Heatwave?
Might have been Heatwave. Yeah, I think so.
I
just remember it was in Lowell, Massachusetts, because they were in that small building. I remember they had like Javon was trying to do dives, and they had like no ringside area.
Yeah. Because then, Obafemi retained, and then after the match, like Ricky Saints came out and basically said that he's his next challenger.
Yep. Moving forward here, thank you to Esports Gaming Rules, who resubscribed for 42 months on Twitch. Really appreciate that. He put in some bit donations here. He says, Yoda Tsuji brought back the IWGP Heavyweight Championship belt, the V4 belt. Ooh, I did not see that. We don't have the butterfly anymore?
Which one's the V4? Is that the one where... I'm
going to look it up.
I'm bad with like saying like what belts. So I think, was it the one that AJ would hold like when AJ held whenever he was in New Japan? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm looking right here. Hold on. It might be.
Because that belt was a beauty. I thought that belt was beautiful.
So this was, it might be the one AJ had, but it's the one that, like when they first started coming to the United States a lot, this is the one like Okada had.
Can you share it on my end?
Oh yeah. I'll just send you to the Wikipedia. Or here, I'll just send you this picture. Why can't I pull this up on the screen? Nothing wants to work. Hold on. Let me read it.
Send to me my messages.
Well, no, it's, I went to open up the Wikipedia to show it, and then it like didn't want to go. Here we go. Can you see my screen through Discord or no?
No, I can't.
Okay, I'll send it to you here. It would be, yeah, probably the best looking one. Why won't this? Here we go. Yeah, because the one they had, the one that like Takeshita held and stuff, kind of looked like a butterfly, in my opinion. Here, I'll send it to you. You're on Discord. That belt. If anybody wants.
Oh yeah, that was the one that AJ held.
Yep. And we're all talking about this, and I didn't even show it on screen. This belt. An image in your tab. This belt. Probably the best looking one that I've seen. And JL Goodson says it was Heatwave.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I can't really remember the full card of that show, actually.
I remember JC Jane. Oh, who was it? JC Jane retained her title against, I remember, may have been Jordan Grace. No. It was, I remember JC Jane fighting with somebody at ringside. Cause I just remember that show had the really like no ringside area. Oh, no. That's the one where Ash by Elegance won the triple threat for the TNA title. Because JC Jane had the TNA title and the NXT Women's title, and they put the TNA title on the line. That's what it was. Masha was in that match too.
Yeah. And then, they did Jada Parker versus Kalani Jordan versus Lola Vice, #1 contenders match. Hank and Tank versus Dark State for the tag titles. Oh yeah, they did Jordan Grace versus Blake Monroe. I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
They did Chelsea Green and Ethan Page against Tyra May Steele and Tavion Heights. Yeah, then they did Obafemi versus Javon Evans.
Yeah, because that's when Oba picked up Javon, threw him from the ring over the announce table. So I remember, again, all I remember for that show is they had no ringside area. A couple more bit donations here. He says, from Esports Gaming Rules, he says, glad WWE mentioned the Tanahashi retirement. Takeshita, or Takahashi? Wait, what? Will Takahashi or Tanahashi talk to Triple H and Nick Khan about a WWE and JPW starting part? No. As long as they're working with AEW, they're not going to work with WWE. They're not even going to try to work with WWE because they don't want to upset AEW. So no. Unless the AEW New Japan relationship falls through, there will not be any talks with WWE. WWE tried to talk to them before, back in 22? Before Brian left and went to AEW, one of the things Brian wanted to be able to do was wrestle in Japan. So Nick Khan, and this comes from Brian. Brian literally said, and I have a video of this, Brian told, when they were doing the virtual meet and greets, somebody sent me the video of his meet and greet with Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan at the time. And the guy asked Brian, so you're going to re-sign with WWE? And he was like, I don't really know, but there's some things I want to do, like wrestle in Japan. And I know WWE reached out to New Japan to see if they can make it happen for me, but I don't think it's going to happen. Like Brian himself broke that in a meet and greet that I don't know if he knew was going to leak out. And that's a whole other story that pissed me off with that news. Anyways, go for it.
Do you remember that like video, like years ago when like WWE was trying to like was in like talks with like New Japan and like about a working relationship, and like Tony Khan like made a video. He was in an interview with Tony Schiavone about it, and then like he basically said, "Well, guess what, Nick Khan?
I think that's from all of this. Yeah, it's this same time. This is all connected. What we're talking about.
Yeah, he was like, "Well, guess what, Nick? I'm the better Khan because I reunited Roppongi Vice. I brought in Okada or someone else. Like I did all this in 1 week, and you got nothing."
Yeah, that's when he was making all these weird videos that aired on TNA, and everyone thought he was drunk in all of them. Those were some weird times. When AEW's working with TNA, those are some weird times.
And then like they kept showing off money. He's like, whoever from TNA wants to come work with AEW, you get a buttload of cash.
All right, so Esports Gaming Rules with the big elephant in the room. Says, did Chris Jericho show up, or are we going to wait until Saturday night's main event or Royal Rumble? But no, Jericho did not show up tonight. The interesting thing here with Chris Jericho is that he is still listed on the AEW roster page. Yet, Matt Taven, Mercedes Martinez, and Alex Abrahantes were all pulled from the AEW roster page because their contracts have expired. So the big question is Jericho still under contract with AEW? Does it not expire till later in the month? Everyone was under the assumption January 1st he was a free agent. But the fact that he is still on the roster page, I would think 99% means he's still technically under contract somehow. I don't know. That's got me baffled.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with Jericho. Everyone's expecting him to go to WWE. And like Rumble would make the most sense. Tonight would have worked. Like I was talking with Luke before we went on the air. I said the funniest thing they could have done tonight was bring Jericho in and be like, oh my God, this guy's been gone for X amount of years and he just returned through the upside down. Like it would have been perfect. Anyways, like literally calling AEW the upside down. But no, like Rumble will probably be the perfect one. But also having him return in Canada at Saturday night's main event would also be big because A, you would announce that he's going to be in the Rumble the week before. So that builds more hype for the Rumble. B, you now tell us, don't miss these Saturday night's main event shows because anything can happen. And C, you bring him back in Canada. Another big donation here says Yoda Tsuji formed a new stable in New Japan, and Bullet Club is no more. Bullet Club has been not been a thing for a
Bullet Club's been dead for. I even didn't I message you that today?
Was that?
I was like, well, I messaged you like,
No.
well, Bullet Club's officially over, and I kind of laughed about it. I was like, Bullet Club's been dead ever since Jay White left.
Yeah, Bullet Club's been dead for a while, even before Jay White left. Like they were trying to pull the scraps together of the Bullet Club.
I think they were like trying to keep it together, like when
Finley tried to have a version of the Bullet Club. It was the Bullet Club War Dogs, and they had Ospreay's last match in AEW. It was basically a War Game style match where it was the United Empire versus the Bullet Club War Dogs. But then it's like they once the Elite left, the Bullet Club was never the same. And they started like splintering off different versions of Bullet Club. Because like even Chris Bay and Ace Austin were in a version of Bullet Club, but they were in TNA. It was just all kinds of weird.
I don't know, it feels kind of weird now that Bullet Club is no more, because they were definitely like the best faction of all time outside of WWE. In my opinion.
To never be in WWE, probably.
Yeah, to never like be in WWE.
But it also depends on what version of the faction you're talking about. If you're talking
just like the New Japan version, like
well, it's all New Japan, basically. But if you're talking, are you talking the original that was started by Finn? Or...
I'll say like I honestly I thought the AJ one was probably the better one because I think their popularity really grew when AJ joined.
Right. Because Finn was because that brought them a international worldwide star to the group.
It did. And also Also, Finn went to the U.S. and I don't think that many people really knew. And the U.S. really knew Finn. They researched him. They're like, oh, this guy was part of the Bullet Club. And when people
Yep.
started looking to the Bullet Club, they're like, oh, AJ's the leader.
Yeah, he turned heel on. I always fuck up his name, so I'm not even gonna say. He turned heel on his longtime tag team partner. Formed the Bullet Club with Fale, Tamatonga. Then they
Tairusuke Taguchi.
yes, Taguchi.
Is he retired or I hear nothing about him?
I haven't seen him in a while, and I don't follow New Japan enough to know. But basically, and I have a video about all this. I have a 2-part history of the Bullet Club video. Basically, I did in 2018. I want to say maybe 2019. I did a big 2-part video that actually did really well on the channel. History of the Bullet Club, where like I talked about basically went from part 1 was the inception of the Bullet Club up to, I want to say, before they formed the Elite. And then the second half was like the Elite being the Bullet Club. And like, so the first half was Bullet Club being formed. And the second half was Bullet Club becoming popular worldwide in the United States and all that kind of stuff. If you guys are interested in learning about the early days of the Bullet Club, I did a pretty in-depth 2-part video. But anyways, yeah, no. What were we getting at about Bullet Club stuff? Like Bullet Club no more. I didn't see the Yoda faction thing. I just saw he started a new one, but I didn't see who was in it. But again, it's like the New Japan thing is that everyone's in some sort of a faction for the most part. Like
that's how it is in AEW as well. Everybody's in a faction.
Kinda. It's worse in New Japan. It used to be even worse back in the day. Like back in like 2017, 18, 19, literally everybody was affiliated with some group, whether that was Bullet Club or Bullet Club Elite, or that was Chaos or Ingobernables de Japón, or that was Suzuki Gun, and there was just everybody was in some sort of a group.
I forgot about Suzuki Gun and Chaos Group.
Yep.
Los Ingobernables de Japón, I actually liked them.
Yeah, me too.
Because I love like Naito with like Bushi, like Evil Sonata, like back when like those two were like the heavyweight tag champs.
Yep. And they had Hiromu Takahashi, and then they brought in Shingo Takagi.
I totally forgot about Shingo Takagi.
Yeah.
Like they were pushing him hard like for a little bit, and then like I just forgot about him.
I mean, he won the world title at one point.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about him now.
We got one more bit donation here. He says, from Esports Gaming Rules, John Cena posted a photo of Tanahashi on Instagram. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I saw someone said that like this is like when they were like predicting like John Cena's final opponent. Someone said like what if his final opponent was like Tanahashi and they both like retired at once.
Was never gonna happen.
I mean, someone just said that like as a joke, but I was like, even if that did happen, that would not be a good match.
No, it wouldn't.
Because those two at their age, like try to put on a good match, like it's gonna be slow.
So Okada pulled out a fantastic, probably 4.5, 4 3/4 star match out of Tanahashi, and that was the second choice. Tanahashi wanted it to be Nakamura, but I think it being Okada was the better choice because he got the better match out of Tanahashi. And Tanahashi, not being able to run, they did a very good, almost like count out tease. It was like they were fighting up on the ramp and the ref's counting, and Okada realized they were getting close to the 20, and he ran back into the ring, and like Tanahashi can't run. And so like he barely made it back into the ring. That was a really good tease, playing up, the not the strengths, but the disadvantages of old man Tanahashi. And now this man has to run the company without a Tanahashi. Because if you think about it, Tanahashi is the reason this company is still around. Without Tanahashi, New Japan probably would have died. And now he's got to run this company as president without an ace. Like their main guy, and no offense to Yota Tsuji, their top guy is now Yota Tsuji. I feel like if they had Takeshita full time and he wasn't AEW, I wouldn't say they'd be fine, but they'd be in a better spot because Takeshita is just fantastic. Takeshita is in my opinion, the best wrestler, the best Japanese wrestler right now, the best wrestler working New Japan. But because he's not full-time there, they can't push him as the top guy, even though, like, again, he won G1 and won the world title, but that was all just to put over Yoda in the end.
Yeah. Do you think he would actually like sign with New Japan like full time like one of these days?
I don't know, because Tony Khan's paying him. I heard Tony Khan's paying him very well. He's technically got two contracts. He's got a full-time contract with AEW and a part-time deal with New Japan.
Yeah, he's making like a buttload of money right now.
Yeah. Like, he's probably my favorite international wrestler. Like, non-American wrestler right now.
Who's your favorite one of all time?
Like, non-American?
Yeah.
Now, are we talking like, that's a tough question, because sometimes you lump in the Canadians with the Americans. Are we doing that or not? Or are you counting Canadians as international?
No.
Oh, because then I was going to say Kevin Owens, but that's a tough one then.
Really? You put Kevin Owens over Chris Jericho?
Yeah.
Or Kevin Owens over Kenny Omega? Because I think Omega, he's Canadian.
Yeah, Kenny's from Winnipeg. No, Kevin Owens is my favorite Canadian wrestler ever. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, he's in my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. Kevin Owens.
Oh, I'd put Omega over Kevin. I love Kevin. I love Kevin. Trust me, I do. But I'm putting Omega over.
So if we're talking
Kevin,
who I think is the best or my favorite non-North American wrestler, how about we say that? Non-North American wrestler.
All right, sure.
I mean, for a long time, Shibata was my favorite Japanese wrestler. But I think it might now be Takeshita.
I thought Okada was my favorite.
Like, it's a toss-up between Okada and Takeshita. But I think
I love Okada. Trust me, I do. I still do, and I get upset how AEW is using him right now.
But I think that's Okada's choice, because if you watch the match on Wrestle Kingdom, he literally wrestled 2 different matches in that match. He wrestled as AEW Okada, and then when he realized being lazy AEW Okada was not enough to keep old man Tanahashi down, he flipped the switch, turned into New Japan Okada, and beat him quickly. It's like he hit him with a Rainmaker and then did his falling off the top rope elbow drop, and Tanahashi kicks out, and he's just like, no, there's no way you should kick out. And they're like 20-something minutes into this match, and you could see like a light switched in his head, and he got all mad, turned into New Japan Okada, hit him with a huge-ass clothesline, did the jumping elbow drop off the top, and then, yeah, got him. So he wrestled as both versions of Okada in that match. But we got to finish up talking Raw. We're an hour into this show already.
Yeah, where do we stop at? I lost track.
We've only talked about the women's title match, the women's tag title match. We're 1 match in.
And Javon.
Well, we talked about Javon. That was later in the show, but we talked about that because that was the whole thing of the... Anyways. Adam Pearce congratulated the new tag team champions backstage. He saw a little, like, whatever you call this, of the stranger. It was like a prop, a Demogorgon. He goes, whoa, what is that back here? Whatever. Gunther then approached Pearce, and he was about to hit the ring to go speak. Pearce advised Gunther that there were a lot of eyes on this show tonight, and a lot of eyes on you, including those in the locker room. And he advised him not to mix things up and be more respectful tonight in this promo. And I was like, that's a weird thing to say, but okay. Then they start doing the little Stranger Things title sequences, and it said, Stranger Things, Chapter 2, He Who Remains. And I'm like, what the fuck is all this? But it led to a great segment with Gunther and AJ Styles. Gunther came down to the ring. He said he was told by management to show some respect, but people should be respecting him, because he's the man that made John Cena tap out. And then the music of AJ Styles hits, and he comes down to the ring. Gunther's kind of like entertained by this. The fans are chanting for Styles as he got in Gunther's face. Gunther called himself the greatest wrestler in this company today. And I'm even better than you, AJ. And the crowd boos. He goes, I'm better than you because I was the man who made John Cena tap out like a little, well, you know what? Made him tap out like a little bitch. I think Gunther is fucking great. Gunther then said, what are you going to do, little AJ? What are you going to do about it? AJ then slaps Gunther across the face. Gunther sells it big, gets back in AJ's face. They go forehead to forehead. And Styles wasn't surprised and said, quote, that's what I thought. Nothing when Gunther didn't really retaliate. AJ then chucked the microphone at Gunther and left the ring. I thought this was great. What'd you think?
Oh yeah, this was fantastic. I'm kind of upset that they're doing the match next week though.
And they're doing the match on a show that a lot of people are not going to watch live.
Because of football.
No, because they're in Germany and the show's going to be airing at 11 Eastern.
Oh yeah, I can't even watch it because I'll be on vacation.
No, I'll watch it on my computer or work. Like I won't be watching. I'll be listening more than watching. But yeah. So also next week's actually starting like Friday, the SmackDown review is going to be early. The Raw review next week. So all these international shows, I'm going to try and get the reviews done early, since I don't want to be up this late.
Oh yeah. By the way, for next Monday, I will not be available. I'll be snowmobiling.
Nice. Anyways, going forward, there was a video package for the women's IC title match. Ivy Nile. This was a weird segment. Ivy Nile's basically telling Adam Pearce, you need to give me a title match. I'm not going to the back of the line. I'm next in line. You need to give me a title match. I don't care who wins. And then Pearce goes, well, it matters who wins. Because depending on who wins is who becomes the next number one contender. And I can't guarantee anybody a title shot until I know who's the champion coming out of the night. I'm like, what? It's like, well, I don't care. I'm not going to the back of the line. I want the next shot after tonight. And he's just looking at Ivy Nile like, okay, calm down. Like, what? Ivy Nile lost a title match to fucking Maxine. She doesn't deserve another one.
No.
Then Gunther's go for it.
Nah, never mind.
So Gunther storms in, tells Pearce, I want AJ. You see what happened? I want AJ. AJ then jumps in and goes, oh, I'll fight you right now. Let's go. And he said he wants to fight AJ and asked if he would stand there and get beat like a little bitch. And basically he walks off all pissed off, and Adam Pearce looks at AJ and goes, you want to fight him? All right. Next week in Berlin, Germany. No, Dusseldorf, Germany. You got it. It's official. So next week, the only match announced for next week's show, AJ versus Gunther.
You know, I actually thought about this. What if they like want to drag this like rivalry out longer and they just have this match like in a DQ? Like what if like next week?
How would you get to a DQ though?
Like maybe Gunther gets really upset and just like maybe like
nut shots him?
Like nut shots him, or they just ends in a count out maybe.
Maybe. I thought they would. I thought this would be a Saturday Night's Main Event match, but honestly,
unless they drag out the Saturday Night's Main Event, they just have this match in a DQ, and they're like, and like AJ or Gunther gets pissed off again. They're like I want him like Saturday Night's Main Event.
Here's the thing: if they're doing this match now, does this mean that they don't have a plan for Gunther to be AJ's retirement match? Because that's what a lot of people were speculating online. Could Gunther face AJ in his final match?
Unless they had like, unless AJ wanted like someone else, maybe like a Finn Balor or like a.
I mean, to be honest, that would be
AJ want.
If you look at the WWE roster, Finn Balor, Kevin, or Sammy would be the perfect opponents for AJ's final match.
Kevin would be a good one. Same with Sammy.
We just don't know when Owens is coming back from that neck injury.
Joe would be another cool final opponent for AJ. Samoa Joe.
Yeah, that ain't happening. That would be the perfect one, actually.
It would be the perfect one, but it's not going to happen.
He could show up and be like, hey, Wendy, I'm going to send your husband home for good.
Oh, my God. That was awesome. When they did that, like Samoa Joe, at AJ's house, I thought they would have done like a Triple H break into Randy's house.
Mm.
Do you remember that one?
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Just grabbed the sledgehammer and started breaking the door down.
Well, they've had a few guys show up at AJ's house. LA Knight showed up at AJ's house once too.
It was AJ and Samoa Joe. Or remember in TNA, Rockstar Spud showed up at AJ's house trying to get the
Yeah.
TNA belt.
Drake Maverick.
He's like, "Oh, I got it." Then AJ walked downstairs.
Yeah, that was a funny one. So then we get our next Stranger Things title card. This is Chapter 3. It's not just her saying it. And this is when I saw people on Twitter getting a little annoyed saying, okay, this is getting dumb now. I even saw O'Shea Jackson Jr. tweet out, I can't watch this anymore, or something like that. What did he say? Hold on. O'Shea Jackson Jr. was even like not entertained by this. He said, he tweeted out, it's unwatchable. All the Stranger, I think he was referring to all the Stranger Things stuff. I'm like, okay then.
Wait, season 5 of Stranger Things is like unwatchable?
No, like Raw tonight with all the Stranger Things tie-in, he was calling unwatchable.
Oh, I will say I was getting a little annoyed when they kept doing each episode for like each segment.
Yeah.
That was getting a little annoying. I will admit to that.
Because like they called the Gunther segment "He Who Remains," then they called the Becky Maxine match not just her saying it. You know, she always says, you know, everyone says I'm the greatest female wrestler of all time. Sports Illustrated, a Bleacher Report. But moving forward, we did have the Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line. Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch. Match itself went about 11 and a half minutes. Lynch, did you know? So, did you hear what commentary said about the gear that Becky was wearing?
No.
So, it's actually gear inspired by her character in the new Star Trek show.
Really?
Yep. So, Lynch tried yanking Dupree off the apron early on, but Dupree countered by doing a pointless-looking cartwheel just out of nowhere. She did a cartwheel to evade her, I guess you would say. Dupree then hit a boot to take control, but Lynch took control during a break by yanking Dupree off the middle rope. They returned from the break, and there was a modest Y2J chant during this match. I was like, that's weird, but okay. I kind of get it, but why this match? Dupree then fired up and applied an ankle lock, but Lynch got a rope break. They traded counters until Lynch hit a middle rope suplex into a DDT for a 2. Lynch then hit a suplex, but Dupree came back with one of her own and a flying crossbody for a 2. Lynch then set it for a powerbomb out of the corner, but Dupree slipped out and applied an ankle lock. That didn't look all that good. Lynch then tried to flip out of it, and Dupree held on while laying on the mat. Dupree was then on her back, and they did some weird contrived pin thing. Like Becky was on top of her, but then she grabbed the ropes for leverage, but the ref was looking the other way and counting the pin. And 1, 2, 3, Becky pins her. Cheated, but she pinned her. So Becky Lynch is now a 2-time Women's Intercontinental Champion in a match that wasn't really all that good. What'd you think?
Yeah, the match wasn't really all that great. It was kind of just there.
Yeah. Then they went to commercial, and this is when we got the Javon Evans segment, where Javon is officially now on Monday Night Raw, which is good. Get this guy out of NXT, put him on the main roster, do something with him, please. Do something with him. Then we got an Uso segment that literally, I felt like it started and ended as quick as it started. Like literally, Usos came out, they did the entrance. They said, "Hey, Dragon and AJ, thanks for the great match last week, but we're the champs now. And like, anybody want a shot? This is a warning that you ain't gonna beat us. We're the best team ever." And that was about it. I felt like they were out there for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious to know what they do with the Usos as tag champs going forward. I mean, I assume they'll have them defend the titles at the Rumble unless they have them in the Rumble.
They'll be in the Rumble. I think they'll be in the Rumble match. Especially they want Jay because he was the winner last year. So they were going to probably want Jay to go in to try and quote unquote win back to back. But
I don't know. I mean, I get why Jay won last year, but it's just how they used him like after is what kind of ruined it. Because like when he won, like a lot of people were shocked, but like, sorry to cut you off, but like when he won, a lot of people were shocked, but people were like, okay, like we dig it. But then like how they used this title reign, the only time he defended the belt was winning by DQ against Logan Paul.
Yeah, it was just a weird title reign. Some people tried to
Then he
compare.
lost it back to Gunther.
Some tried to compare it to Kofi, but I'm like, no, Kofi's was better, even though he did have the shitty 6-second loss to Brock.
I mean, that was the only bad part about Kofi's reign. Other than that, like Kofi actually had some like pretty decent defenses.
Yes.
Remember, he had those good matches against Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Which
was a callback to what, like 2008.
Yeah.
Trust me, I remember that feud because they dumped paint all over a NASCAR during that feud.
I think that's when Randy was in Legacy, or he was the leader of Legacy. Then Randy got like a new NASCAR with like his face all over it.
Yeah, it was an RKO scheme, a paint scheme, and then they had a big match in Madison Square Garden, the two of them.
Yeah.
So then they say that coming up next, we're going to see Women's World Champion La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, but we see her walking in the back in a walking boot. She passes the Creeds, who are in a Chips Ahoy boat, and Corey Graves goes, unfortunately for the Creeds, I don't think they're ever going to learn to sail that thing. Then we get Chapter 4, To Kiss a Devil. So Stephanie Vaquer comes down to the ring. She's interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Jackie asks her about the boot. She says, oh, don't worry about it. I might have hurt my ankle last week, but it's not going to stop me. I still want to defend my title. She then asks Jackie to leave, and she starts talking in Spanish and says a couple of other things. She said she came here to Raw. She won the Battle Royal at Evolution, and then led her to winning the title. She then became emotional as she talked about her accomplishments. She then spoke more in Spanish. She talked about beating both Nikki Bella and Raquel Rodriguez last week, pointed at the boot and said this is not going to stop her. Elite says 2009 was the Orton Kofi feud. All right, I got it mixed up. Whatever. I'm always off by a year for some reason. Always off by a year. Anyway, it's probably my dyslexia. Mixing years and dates up. Anyways, so she then poses with her title to quote unquote end the segment, but she's attacked by Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel comes down and beats the crap out of her, smashes Vaquer's foot. They say, oh, that's her injured ankle. She then gives her a Tejana bomb, grabs the chair and tries to Pillmanize the leg, but officials and referees run out to stop her. The crowd is booing. I assume they're booing because of what Raquel is doing, not because they stopped Raquel. And so they get Raquel out of there. Officials get Stephanie, and they start to help her to the back as we go to a break. After the break, the medical staff is looking at her, helping her walk through the back when, Raquel shows up again and attacks her. She throws her into an equipment box. She smashes on the foot, and Adam Pearce shows up and yells, leave now, or I'm going to suspend you and I'm going to fine you so you have no money left to be fined. Like, I'm going to fine you dry, basically. And Raquel's like, I'm done. Okay. I get it. I'm gone. I'll leave. Bye. So I think they just wrote Stephanie Vaquer off of television. I think we're going to go into Raw next week, and they're going to tell us, or maybe even tomorrow or something, Stephanie Vaquer has been stripped of the title due to injury. I don't know if that's the case, but I think it's very possible. What do you think?
It's possible.
Like, I don't think they do this whole segment just to set up another Stephanie Raquel match. I think they did it to write her off television. Hopefully not for long. Who knows? So moving forward, Rey Mysterio's in the back of Dragon Lee. He's like, hey, it's unfortunate you and AJ lost tag titles, but I see more gold in your future. Penta then approached AJ to say that he was happy to come back early to help him against the Vision. Rey thanked him for having his back last week. Rey said the Penta understood the tradition, honor, and respect of Lucha Libre, everything that the Vision wants to destroy. Penta told Rey he would always have his back. This then led to Lyra Valkyria versus Liv Morgan. It was an 8-9 minute match that I felt wasn't all that great. But one thing that popped me in this match is Lyra's getting her ass beat, and she kind of like leans on the bottom rope over by Bayley, and Bayley's like, hey, you better step it up or I'm going to slap you in the face just like you slapped me to hype me up. I laughed so hard. Bayley's like, do I need to slap you in the face to get you going? But the two worked well together. There was not much in the first 6-7 minutes of this match. Valkyria then set it for a Nightwing late in the match, but Morgan countered, I think, into a code breaker, but it was a little sloppy. Valkyria then took a DDT. She landed right on the top of her head. Morgan then distracted the referee at one point, so Perez dropped the rope on Valkyria. Bailey went after Perez, but the referee stopped her, so Perez used the distraction to chuck Bailey into the timekeeper's area. Bailey then snapped and grabbed a chair, chased Perez through the ring and to the back. Valkyria was not paying attention to her opponent, so Morgan flew in and hit her with an Oblivion and pinned her 1-2-3. So yeah, there we go. Liv gets the win. And I want to say, I don't know if this is them teasing something, but Corey Graves mentioned how the IWC is really behind Liv right now and thinks that she could win the Rumble or something like that. Like, he mentioned the IWC being very behind Liv. And the interesting thing is he must have been on Twitter today, because when you go to Twitter, at least for me, and you click, what is it? Hold on. It's when you click, let's see. When you go to Twitter and you click like the search, and before you click the trending, but under like the For You, when you get like this kind of a page, it's going to be super, can't see. Like this one where it shows you different topics. One of them was online wrestling. For me earlier today was the online wrestling community sees Liv Morgan as the early favorite to win the Royal Rumble. And literally Corey Graves addressed that on Raw, which was weird. But what did you think of Liv Morgan and Lyra?
It was all right. I kept hearing the Y2J chants during this match.
Oh, I didn't hear it during this match. I heard it during the IC title match. Interesting.
Apparently, like, I heard it, and then someone on Twitter was saying there was Y2J chants during this match. And I could try to find the video and send it to you.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I don't doubt it, because like I said, I heard him earlier.
Yeah, people were really wanting Chris Jericho on this show.
Because Adam Pearce teased it yesterday. He said, who's going to break down the walls or break the walls down?
I mean, I'm going to be honest here. Do you really think WWE's going to do something like that? Like the next day, it's Jericho, and make it very predictable?
Yes. Not say it, but tease it that little on social media. I can see it, because then you've got people hyped up. Because actually, that's not a bad idea, because if anybody was on the fence of watching this show, if there was even a 50% chance they thought Jericho was going to show up, more people are going to watch. So I think you don't announce it, just like what AEW did with Punk in his first appearance. You don't announce it, but you heavily imply and tease it. That's what I would do to get more interest. So then when he doesn't show up, you go, we never announced anything. We never said it. We never said watch this show for Chris Jericho. And for all we know, is Adam Pearce just trolling the internet, which is probably what it was. Him going into business for himself, trolling the internet.
Adam Pearce always trolls the internet.
I know. That's the funny part.
I mean, I don't really take anything serious that he says on the internet, because all he does is troll. And even when he said who's going to break down the walls, I didn't take it serious.
You know who else I don't take serious on the internet?
Who?
Jonathan Coachman.
I don't really pay attention to what he says.
He's trying to be a scooper now and break news and shit on all the other scoopers. He's trying to be like, this is how it's done, guys. He was like, Jericho.
Does Bubba Ray do the same thing?
But not, yes and no. Not really. No. Bubba doesn't shit on like Dave and the others, John Alba, Sean. He doesn't like take shots at them. But it's more of, if there is like just a super egregious rumor, he'll be like, why would anybody believe this? Not when like it's a legit report. You know what I mean?
I've heard more people shit talk Dave Meltzer than Sean Ross Sapp. I've heard people say really good things about Sean. And I've heard people say they like Sean but hate Dave.
Well, it's because A, Dave gets misquoted a lot, and B, most of Sean's content is not behind a paywall as far as like his podcast style stuff. All Dave's are. And so most people get Dave Meltzer quotes and content third hand, don't read the Observer, don't listen to any of his podcasts. And so they're hearing it transcripted incorrectly or out of context to where someone will take a clip from Dave's show, post it online, but then don't post the 2 or 3 minutes after your 30-second clip where he's explaining what he's trying to say in more detail that makes it make sense. It's people just shitting on Dave to shit on Dave because he's the old guy, I guess you would say. I don't know. It's weird. Everyone's like, Dave can never get anything right, yet Dave gets a lot right. Everyone gets stuff wrong. Everyone gets stuff right. It just happens.
How old is Dave?
So he's in his 60s.
Oh, geez. Because he's been doing it for a while now, hasn't he?
He's been running the Observer full time. He's been doing it since I can't remember if he started in the late 70s, but he's been doing it full time since the late 80s. So.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was doing it that long.
I know in the 90s, Eddie Guerrero was a subscriber. And there's been a lot of actual wrestlers who subscribe to the Observer. But as we move forward here, there's a CM Punk interview in the back with Jackie Redmond. Redmond said some people thought that Breaker was going to spear his way to the title tonight. Punk said everyone has their own opinion. They rather talk about him because if they talked about themselves, nobody would pay attention. Breaker could claim Spear 1, 2, 3 if he wanted to, but it's not what's going to happen. He said, if he was the underdog, you're underestimating him, and that means that. He said, if you think I'm the underdog, you're underestimating me, and I'm going to give you a GTS and make you take a nap. So then they tell us, hey, don't forget next week's Raw for everybody is live 11 Pacific. So it's 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, which means 1 Central. Got it. Okay, so it's not as early as I thought, but still pretty damn early. Then we go to our main event. It is.
This was a pretty good main event.
Yes.
I actually liked it.
Well, did you see what the name was? Chapter 6?
What?
Chapter 6, the best versus the badass.
Oh, so they didn't even call it like an actual Stranger Things episode.
No, they were those all things based off of who's in the upcoming match and segment. I didn't even see what the chapter 1 was for the women's tag title match. But then chapter 2 was He Who Remains, talking about Gunther. And chapter 3 was It's Not Just Her Saying It, talking about Becky. Chapter 4 was To Kiss the Devil, talking about Stephanie Vakir. Chapter 5 was... Did I get chapter 5? I don't think I saw chapter 5. I did not write down chapter 5. No, I went from chapter 4 to chapter 6. I didn't write down what chapter 5 was, which would probably have been something for Lyra versus Liv. But then we had chapter 6, the best versus the badass. So CM Punk trolled Braun Breaker wearing a Rick Steiner-inspired Varsity Club style jacket. It said CM on the front of it. And this is CM Punk's first official title match since winning the title on November 1st. So it's been 2 months. They wrestled back and forth early on. There was an early break. Breaker sprinted the ropes and clobbered Punk with a clothesline. Braun held control until Punk tried a desperation GTS, but Braun countered into a back suplex. Braun remained in control until Punk again tried a GTS, and Braun countered into a gutbuster. He got a 2 off of it. Punk spilled to the outside, and Braun saw his opportunity to hit a running spear, but Punk cut him off with a clothesline. After a break, Punk followed up with another clothesline off the barricade and a flying crossbody for a 2. Punk then hit a running lifting knee and tried to go for another, but Braun drove him into the middle turnbuckle. This is when he hit a standing moonsault and got a 2 off of it. After another commercial break, Braun went for a Frankensteiner, but Punk did not come down from it, and Braun almost fell on his head. This was a kind of weird spot. I don't know if this was planned spot, not planned. I don't know, but they didn't show a replay here. And Punk then did know well enough to follow up with a flying elbow. So I don't know what happened, but they went for a Frankensteiner, didn't get the Frankensteiner. Who knows? Punk then went back to the top, and Breaker successfully hit the Frankensteiner this time. I hate when they do this. You're just telling us how scripted it is when you botch a spot and then go back and do it. Braun then got him.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of people doing that. I remember seeing it in person because I was at an NXT show in St. Louis. They did Randy Orton versus Javon Evans. Javon missed a spot and then came back up, and then they did it again.
Now, I hate when a wrestler misses a spot and immediately tries it again. At least this one, there was a slight buffer where Punk realized it didn't go right, so he improvised with a flying elbow, went for the pin. They hesitated for a second and then went back to it. But Braun got Punk up for a press slam, and Punk countered into a DDT. Punk then hit a lifting knee strike, a clothesline, and another flying elbow. Punk then called for the GTS, but this time there was interference. Paul Heyman jumped up on the apron, but Punk chased him off. Logan Paul and Austin Theory and Bronson Reed all ran out and leaped up on the apron, but Punk chased them off as well. Braun then shoved Punk into the referee and fell out of the ring, and Theory took the opportunity to hit Punk with a curb stomp. Braun made the cover for the near fall. What are you doing, ref? I get it. He was like down for a second, but he was down for like so little that he probably should have saw that. Anyways, this is when Penta, Ray, and Dragon Lee would all come out to, I guess you could say, assist CM Punk. They attacked the division and run him off. This left just Punk and Braun. Breaker went for a spear, but Punk dodged it, and Breaker went shoulder first into the post. Punk then followed this up with the GTS, but wasn't really sure about it. He didn't feel like it was the finish, and Braun kicked out. The crowd was super intense for this sequence. Punk then followed up with the rare pile driver that Cole said he didn't get all of it. He got a 2 off of it. Punk then went for another GTS, but Braun countered into a Fujiwara armbar. Punk slipped into a cover, but Braun reapplied the hold. Punk then reversed that into an anaconda vice. Braun simply sat up to counter that. Braun then followed this up with a gutbuster and a clothesline for a near fall. Braun then called for a GTS and went for the move, but Punk countered into an STFU. Braun then got to the ropes to break the hold, but Punk then reapplied the move and became distracted by Heyman once again on the apron. Punk then punched Heyman. Braun then tried to spear Punk, but Punk dodged it and Braun spilled to the floor. Punk then went for a suicide dive, but Breaker punched him right in the face, and Punk splatted to the outside. Punk then gathered himself up by the announce desk, and Braun put him through it with a wild flying clothesline off the apron. Braun then shoved Punk into the ring, dropped the straps, and then they kind of went a little long with this spot. They stalled it out, and Breaker's just going like he's ready. But he goes for the spear. Punk got the knee up to block it. Punk followed it up with a GTS and just pinned him 1, 2, 3 to pick up the victory. Just pinned him. It was a great match. Like, I really enjoyed the match. The show ends with Braun Breaker sitting in the aisleway sulking, and Punk kind of like up on the ropes yelling down at Breaker, "Yeah, I told you I was the best. Holding up the belt as the show goes off the air. So, yeah. Great main event. What'd you think?
Oh, yeah. This was like a perfect main event, honestly. Like, I knew CM Punk was going to win. And I feel like what they're going to do is maybe have Braun Breaker like win the Royal Rumble and then challenge Punk for a rematch.
Oh,
do you think they do like a similar to when Jey Uso last year? They're like, I found your weakness.
Maybe, but what's the weakness? It's not the spear. What's the weakness?
I don't know.
But
because last year Jey made him tap out.
Yeah, I do see Braun winning either the Rumble or the Chamber, going to Mania, and winning the belt at Mania. I see them coordinating Braun Breaker this year at WrestleMania.
I think for the Rumble, they're probably gonna. I think it's either gonna be Braun or Roman. They're probably gonna pick someone that's gonna bring in a lot of revenue.
Oh, Roman
for the Rumble.
Well, so there have been talks that the night 2 main event is Roman Cody. So I think Roman. So I think it's better off Roman wins the Rumble, Breaker wins the Chamber. I think that's how we do it. Chamber is in Chicago this year, I think.
Do you really think we should get Roman and Cody again?
No, it would be the 3rd time in 4 years.
I mean, unless they did like Roman's like, I beat you like the first time we met at Mania, you beat me the second time. Let's end it. like one last time.
I mean, yeah, but I would have. Who knows how long Roman's got? I know he said that his contract's only got a couple years left, and he's not really looking to sign another big one. So maybe they think that they don't have many years left with Roman to do the rubber match. That's the only thing I could think of.
If I want to know, like who would Roman's final opponent be if he were to like retire once his contract's up? I know it's pretty early.
So I don't think Roman retires in the sense of he's just like when his contract's up, he's done. I think Roman's going to be like a Brock that does Mania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, or one other big one instead of Survivor Series or something. I think he's going to be like 3-match guy, just coming back every so often. Because what was I'm trying to remember. Roman Reigns. I'm trying to remember what it was. He did like an interview or something. Roman Reigns' current contract expires after WrestleMania 42 this year, with plans for only another year or two of wrestling, and then he's going to try and so he did an interview with Vanity Fair and was like, my contract's up after this year's Mania, then I maybe only do a year or two more of wrestling, and then I need to find another less physical form of entertainment to be involved in. That's what it is.
So I really thought he was just going to pull a Rock where he was just going to be done with wrestling and then like just go do movies.
I mean, he's in Street Fighter. There's his first big one. He was in the last Eddie Murphy movie, Money Heist. He's doing movies.
Wasn't he? He was in the Fast and Furious movie with The Rock.
Yes, I believe that was his first movie, Hobbs and Shaw.
But he didn't even speak in that movie though. No. That's the thing.
But he's got speaking roles now, and he's got, representation. I don't know what else he's doing past what's it called? Street Fighter, if he's got anything online like on tap yet. But
he made a cameo once in a Nickelodeon show. Yes. That was terrible.
Yes. I don't know what the show was, but
his acting was pretty bad.
Yeah. But it was also a Nickelodeon show, and at that time, the Nickelodeon shows were very poorly written. That was when Nickelodeon was not at its best. It could have been that he just didn't have much to work with. But yeah, he said to Vanity Fair last year, his current deal is up after this year's Mania, and then he only wants to really be wrestling much for a year or two. And then he said, quote, I'll need to find a less physical form of entertainment to be in, which is probably acting, of course. So, yeah, with all of that, that's what we thought of Monday Night Raw. You got any other thoughts as they go refresh all these polls?
I mean, felt like a weird show. I mean, I know at first I didn't really care for the Stranger Things stuff.
Oh, I didn't care for it at all.
Because I was getting a little annoyed when they kept doing the episode 1, episode 2 for each segment.
Yeah. It was.
Oh, did you notice? Did you see like when they did the upside down camera at the beginning of the show?
Yes, I thought I started watching the show. I watched the first like 3 minutes on my phone because we were eating dinner, and I thought I moved my phone and I thought my phone flipped, like the video flipped on my phone. Then I realized, oh, that's them with doing it upside down on purpose.
No, I thought that was silly.
Yeah. To be honest, though, once we were like halfway through this show, I stopped it just felt like a regular Raw. There was less Stranger Things references, really.
Oh, Joe, it would have been like hilarious that they could have done it. It would have been bad, but it would have been hilarious. What if they have like remember like the zombie the lumberjack match with Miz and Morrison?
Yeah, the one we mentioned earlier, the Damian Priest Miz match.
What if they had like an upside down match and they had like the Demogorgons come out and then like someone dressed as Vecna come out as well?
You know what would have been perfect for the upside down match, but they're doing it on Friday's SmackDown, the Wyatts versus the MFTs.
They did the upside down match and they had someone as Vecna try to attack Solo.
Right. Maybe like Big Rowan.
as Vecna.
Eric Rowan, yeah. Or just wearing like
Yeah,
a
I'd
Vecna mask or something.
No, I would do Uncle Howdy as a Vecna. Actually,
Maybe.
he would be a perfect Vecna.
Yeah. As far as these polls do go, as far as the threads poll, 52% liked the show, 38% thought it was just all right, and 10% didn't like it. The Twitter X polls, kind of the same. 56% liked the show, 30% thought it was just all right, and 13% didn't like it. Looking over on the community poll, 69% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 13% didn't like it. And finally, looking at the live poll, 64% liked the show, 18% didn't like it, and 18% thought it was just all right. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Pecky_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
But with that, there's not going to be, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, but there's not going to be the AEW stream this week as far as like the watch along game stream thing, because, well, I'm going to be there live. AEW gave me a press pass, so I will be there. They said I could bring a camera with me, so we'll be taking photos and stuff during the matches, and I'll be posting content from there. Depending on what time I get home, maybe I do a small live stream. Maybe I just pre-record something and then have it post in the morning, giving my thoughts on the show and my live thoughts and stuff. But yeah, I will post something. Maybe even, maybe on my drive home, I can go live on my phone to YouTube. We'll figure something out. Or maybe I just go for it.
Do you know one show I really want to go to that's coming up soon? The Chamber in Chicago.
Oh, I heard that show's selling great.
I mean, it's possible I could go.
Speaking of Chicago, did you hear New Japan is starting this year's G1 in Chicago?
Really?
Night 1 of G1 is in the Now Arena in Chicago.
I've only been to one New Japan show.
I've been to 2.
Well, technically, I don't even know if this one would really count because it was Music City Mayhem. And it was during StarCast weekend.
That was a New Japan show. Yeah.
And it was in the other side of the. It was in a different building while StarCast was going on.
Yeah. See, I've been to 2 New Japan shows, both as media. So it's like I didn't really just take it in as like a fan at the show because I was running around the entire time working both shows that I went to. So with all that, though, guys, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. Welcome to 2026, and we'll see you next time.